This is episode 35 of Hardly Qualified. Is this the end? For October 4th, 2013. Have you ever sat around in a pub and chatted into the wee hours of the night? Ever considered the world in ways you've never before thought about, and then shared it with your friends? Welcome to Hardly Qualified, a weekly podcast recorded in Calgary, Alberta, where Will Connor and his friend Ducky get together to wax philosophical about whatever suits their fancy. With the occasional guest, they discuss society and culture, following random threads of thought wherever they may lead. So pull up a chair, grab a drink, and join the conversation, because you never know, you might be hardly qualified too. Let's get started.
You know what, I think I'm going to say it just for old time's sake. Welcome back to Hardly Qualified. My name's Will Connor. I'm on the left. On the right is Ducky.
Hi.
Why not, eh?
Yeah, why not, right?
Why not? So here's the deal, folks. We missed last week, and kind of the week before I was in Portland. And I gotta say, I really appreciate, I know the audience has been growing a little bit, but we're just not feeling the love. And the love isn't from you guys, it's from us. We're having some problems here. We've lost our way, we've lost our vision, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, we've been doing this since January.
Yeah, it's almost a year. I guess it's, September? It's almost October now, so it's 9 months?
Yeah. We've produced
40 episodes, so
nearly, yeah.
37 episodes if you include the first 3 that weren't really episode-y episodes.
Yeah, and then this one is 38, so
yeah.
Maybe we'll go to 40, I don't know. But we're definitely going to do this one, and we're going to have one more next week, which is going to be kind of a best of Hardly Qualified clip show with music and stuff, some of our favorite moments. But you can tell by the tone of my voice if you haven't figured it out now. I guess you can't tell by the tone of my voice because it's like 3 octaves higher than it normally is. But we are going to kind of wrap things up with Hardly Qualified. I know, you're sad, you're crying. You may not even be listening anymore, so you may not know because you've stopped downloading a podcast. Really what happened, Ducky and I started this with our friend Bob back in January, and we just wanted to have a go at each other's ideas in a public forum and invite you as the fourth listener in to,
join us in the conversation.
And a lot of you have. A lot of you have actually shown up and participated in the podcast itself. We've had a lot of guest hosts. We've had a lot of fun. We've talked a lot. We've fought a lot. We've learned a lot. I've learned a lot anyway. I don't know about the rest of you. But I think it's kind of time to call it quits for Hardly Qualified, to put this baby to bed. We've experimented a lot, I think.
Yeah.
And I'm saying a lot, and I realize that. But, we've really learned a lot in this, there it is again, throughout this experience as to how to produce and how not to produce.
Not to produce, yeah.
An episode or a podcast.
Because, keep in mind that everybody, this is our first time, right? There's a pretty steep learning curve when it comes to this kind of stuff, of what works, what doesn't work, what's. And I think what we're trying to do is we're try to stay sort of relevant to ourselves. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Right? Like we're trying to stay true to the vision. And we've just, like we were saying, like the last 10, 12 episodes or so, we've kind of been doing it because it has to be done, not because it's something we want to do.
Right. And, it's a lot of pre-production the way we've set it up now with the soundscapes and the music, which I love. And when we do bring things back, I think that's one thing we'll definitely try to keep. But, arranging guests and topics and making sure everyone's done research and is competent in the topic, it's a lot of work. It takes me about 4 hours a week in pre-production, and Ducky spends probably about that same amount in post-production. And then we have marketing and site design and everything else. And you know what? Don't get us wrong. We love doing it.
We're not quitting.
But we just don't think that we're producing a product that is really worthy of your guys' time anymore.
Yeah.
I think that's what it comes down to.
And if we look at our subscription numbers, we can tell that you guys also seem to feel the same way. So, yeah. There's we need to do some work, I think, and figure out what we want to do and commit to something. Because right now we're just 2 guys with microphones.
Right. And we always said that as long as one person was listening, we'd keep doing the podcast. And well, that's just a bold-faced lie. We've become attention whores.
Well, the thing is that we're not happy with the product. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's really what it
is. And it's hard to sort of be motivated to do something poorly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So.
You say, brother.
Yeah. I would rather have 2 people listening to something I'm proud to have made than have 200 people listening to something that I think is crap.
And that's exactly where we are right now, with 200 listeners who are holding on, waiting for us to get our act togetder, and it just ain't happening. We're not feeling the love anymore. And like I said, it's not you guys, it's us.
Yeah.
That really bad, we're breaking up because we suck, not because you suck.
Well, we're not breaking up, we're reimagining ourselves.
Yeah.
But the thing is that what we're doing, it's not fair to the listeners anymore.
No.
Right. And while we can do what we do at a table in Denny's for our benefit, we kind of are doing this as an internet podcast, not solely for our benefit, but to share that sort of benefit with the world. And if the world is not benefiting from it, then there's no point. Does that make sense?
That sounds incredibly arrogant, but yes, it makes sense. If the world is not learning from our greatness, then we have nothing to contribute, so we will contribute nothing at all.
Okay, well, what I mean is that we're not doing a good job of what we should be doing, what we set out to do,
Yeah.
and we need to reevaluate and figure out how we're going to do what we want to do better, so that it is once again worth an hour of your time every week.
Well, and we played with things a lot, I think, so much. One of the things I said to Ducky before we started recording was that we've messed with things so much it's now a podcast being held together by duct tape.
Yeah.
Which is pretty impressive for something that exists purely in digital form, but that's really what it is.
Yeah, baling wire and duct tape.
Yeah.
We've changed so much since we started. We've tried things, we've let them go away. I mean, we've dropped what didn't work, we tried to keep what did work. I mean, if you listen to the very first episode, like episode 0 or episode 0.5 or whatever,
Yeah.
and then compare, or even like episode 5 after we had, gotten our feet under us and had, 6-7 episodes under us, and then you go and listen to what's like episode 30, 32, and you can notice a vast difference in style, in tone, in pacing.
Yep.
I mean, we are nowhere near where we started, and I think what we need to do is, we got distracted by what to do or how to do it rather than what we're trying to do.
Absolutely.
Right.
I mean,
So-
there's some really good stuff in here. I mean, some of my favorites were, Prison in Freedom and Change Your Gendertude and Riding the Bus at Gunpoint. Our most popular one is Our Judgment is Questionable, believe it or not, and followed by the feminism episode. But I mean, I've learned a lot from, arguing with you or discussing.
My favorite episode has got to be the one with Josh. Was episode 18, I think? 16? The one about cyborgs and the future of technology and humanity and... I think
that was earlier. Wasn't that
Was it?
he went to
Maybe-
Death Star? That was number 2.
No, it wasn't. It was like episode 8, maybe. Maybe it was 18?
No, it was 6. Vote of Fractional Intimacy, right?
Yes, that's the one there. Okay, so yeah, it was one of the earlier ones. But I still thought that was, yes, Woe to Fractional Intimacy, that's the correct one. But I think that was probably one of the most profound ones we had. And that was a topic that I wanted to talk more about because, a lot of the times we talk about politics. We talk about things like, feminism. We talk about, collectivism versus individuality. And we talk about religious, doctrine and indoctrination. And we talk about things like that. And yeah, certainly they're relevant, but we talk about them a lot.
Yeah.
And I find that we seem to start rehashing the same old ground over and over and over again. So it was kind of something I wanted to do was revisit that sort of humanity versus technology.
Well, and we started off being very, unpredictable on what it was we were going to talk about, to now, booking a topic a month and a half in advance and trying to arrange people that kind of are versed, or at least have studied some of the topic material and have an opinion on it. And like, again, it's not that it's not worked out. It's just we've lost our way.
Yeah.
So
We've gotten away from what we wanted to do, so...
yeah. And, I'm going to keep the archives up on the site. That's not going to go away. The Facebook group will stay up, although it'll probably peter out. Really, what we need from you guys, as our listeners, as our committed listeners, is to stay with us, to keep this feed in your podcatcher, to, keep subscribed the way you are going to subscribe when we relaunch, which will probably be maybe December or January even again. We'll do it under new branding. We'll have, a better idea of what we want to do now that we know how to do it, and we'll announce it through this feed. So if you stay subscribed where you are right now, however you get Hardly Qualified, then you will get more Ducky and Will, and that will be awesome because we are awesome people, and you're awesome listeners. So we want you to come along with us. If you don't like the new product, that's fine, but at least it'll be well thought out as opposed to haphazard. So
Yeah. At least give us a chance.
yeah,
So
give peace a chance. No,
lend us some more goodwill.
Yeah.
So
So insert new podcast name here is awesome,
Mhm.
or will be.
We'll be.
And again, I don't want to be trampling on what we've done because I don't think it's all bad. I think the last episode kind of sucked, and that was largely in part for my decision to put that 22-minute of Bill Cosby right into the middle of it. It really kind of sucked the energy out of the podcast, and
We had to pad it somewhere, though.
we kind of did. And he made a really good point, but he was I think he recorded that back in the
1971. 71, yeah.
When people had a greater attention span to listen to a 22-minute rambling comedy bit, and
Well,
I'll
it
be
wasn't
honest-
really a comedy bit, though. I mean, when I listened to it the first time, it sounded almost full serious, and I was kind of nervous putting in the podcast that it would almost seem like we were endorsing these kinds of attitudes.
Yeah.
Because it didn't become clear that it was all done as satire, as political commentary,
Right.
right?
Especially until the end.
Yeah, I mean,
And that's where you got the payoff.
yeah.
But it was a long, long setup. You know what? We should have almost skiped him.
Yeah.
That would have been hilarious. But, I kind of skipped over most of it when I was listening to the podcast. I'll admit it. So, but, the conversation with Nick afterwards was pretty good. But, that's the thing is, we're apologizing, and we shouldn't be apologizing. We are just, screw it. Thank you so much for listening for the last 8 months, and we will be back. And we'll be back next week with some of our favorite moments and favorite songs. And, we really thank you guys for hanging on with us and telling your friends. And don't be sad, we're not going to stop this. It's just, we're going to stop Hardly Qualified, and we will come back with something even better. It may take a couple of months. Actually, it will take a couple of months, because we're going to make sure we've thought this one through this time. And we'll be back with a vengeance, and then you'll never be able to get rid of us.
That's great. Now we're alienating people, threatening them with our presence.
We will hunt you down.
Stalkers!
And make you listen to our ramblings. But it will be less rambly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... I don't know if we should say anything else. I mean,
make sure you let us know what you think on the Facebook page. I mean, that's what it's there for. It's your way to get back to us. Leave comments on the website, because, you know, while we want to make sure that whatever we're doing is true to the spirit of what we want to do, we want to make sure that it appeals to other people too. So,
yeah, let us know what's worked, what hasn't.
Let us know what makes you come listen to Hardly Qualified, and let us know what makes you click the stop button. Right? If you start listening and you realize, oh, this is wasting my time, I don't have, you know, or if there's some reason that you have stopped listening to an episode, let us know what it is, because, you know, we need to know that feedback so that we can tailor a product, right, to the consumer.
Well, and we've given like 100 different ways to do it, whether it be email, the forum, SoundCloud, like whatever. So, you know, and a few of you have done it, but that's okay. We've gotten feedback in person or privately, and from our friends and whatnot, and that's really helped us out, and we greatly appreciate that. I don't think this will be the necessarily end of characters like the Working Man and so on and so forth.
And the voiceover boy.
Yeah, you know, I imagine that some of those people will be joining us in our relaunch in some form. What that looks like, again, we have no idea. Yeah. You know, I feel like they've gotten the message, and the problem is I just can't freaking let go. I'm kind of sad now. Oh yeah, laugh at my pain. Laugh at my pain. F you, dude. F you.
F me?
F you.
No, F you!
Okay, so, yeah. Come back next week, and you'll hear what we think is good.
Yeah.
It's just really bad grammar, I'm sorry.
We will have a clip show of some of our favorite moments of the conversations we are most proud of. It may be a little bit of a longer show, because a lot of the conversations will be 5-10 minutes long, but... You know, you want to put 3 or 4 songs in there? We'll figure something out, but it'll be... I hope
it may not even be next week. I think it might even take us 2 weeks to produce this thing, but there will be one last final kind of, this is what we did type of thing.
Yeah, one we hope that does honor to the people who contributed.
And to you as the listener as well.
Yeah.
So, again, thank you. We're sorry, and we'll do it again sometime.
See you guys later.
Bye-bye.
And keep listening. Don't stop asking questions!
Never.
Never!
Thank you for listening to Hardly Qualified. Remember to check the website at hardlyqualified.ca for news, updates, references, and to learn how to support the podcast. Please review and rate us in iTunes after each episode to help get the word out. If you're a Facebook user, like us and share with your friends and enemies at facebook.com/hardlyqualified, where you can also join in on the conversation. A special thanks to the artists who have donated music to the podcast. We greatly appreciate your work. As always, artists may be found in each episode's reference section. Again, thanks for listening, and remember, knowledge starts with questions. Don't fear them. We'll see you next week.